Alright, what up, y'all? It's your boy LCDAONE, LCDAONE to be exact. Reacts again, man. Back with, this is kind of hard for me to do, man, but, it got to be addressed. And it seemed like I've been doing my case study, on the community. And then, most importantly, the black woman in the community, man. It's like what I've have observed over these last 20 years, man, since I came back from Grambling to play basketball, has been horrific. Now, a lot of stuff that's going on right now in our community is unnecessary, and it's primarily, I don't want to be too bashful, but it's because of the black woman. All right, it's what she accepts and allows that dictates everything for everything in the community. As far as positivity, etc., etc. Now, I can't say it's a lack of positive role models, male role model figures in the community. I'm just saying that they elect to find something that's not of a man's stature. Okay? Seem like they like boys, man. And I can say this because if a man is not present in the household, I'm talking about a real strong man, like myself, because I have raised my oldest daughter, Zakia. She's 25. She's 25. She got her own crib. She worked for the same company I work for. I graduated her from 2 trade schools. She hustling, and she doing her thing. And she about to continue her education to probably, start her business, because she said she wanted to get a loft, And I have set her up for success. And this started when she was able to really comprehend and understand what, this was all about. And I was with her every step of the way, man. It's like her mother, she, shout out to her mother. Her mother was strong-headed, fierce. She worked hard. I supported her, ended up getting her a law degree. And, I was there while she worked, because I had an athletic scholarship to play basketball, but they wouldn't let me play when I got back here. So, it is what it is. So I forfeited my time as an athlete to be present for my young daughter, at that time. Because I didn't want to be a void, because that's the issue. When there's no strong black man in the household, things can go sideways, okay? And like I said, the black women will accept and allow something that's mediocre, okay? Mediocrity, you know what I'm saying? Because the next thing they look at is a boy, that's it. Because a man in the household would dictate everything as far as like what goes on. Now, my current situation with my lady now, my new lady, okay, she's in her 30s. She's a millennial. I'm gonna call her X, Z, Y. She's in that group, right? We have a 1-year-old together. Y'all know Princess Lyra. I started a YouTube channel, doing the same thing I did with my oldest daughter, but now we have social media. So it's a different aspect now, because now social media has propelled even people that's like in their primary stages. They can have like a real career at an early age. So I'm aware of that. Like I was being conscious and paying attention to my oldest daughter, Zakia, and things that she liked, so I homed in on it. Once I seen she liked playing with hair and stuff, and I bought her a mannequin. And it's ironically that she ended up going to cosmetology school and graduated from that. And then she went to Icon Beauty for her aesthetics. And she graduated from that. And she's doing side jobs while she's hustling, doing security. And I'll be trying to mentor her and, guide her the best way I can. And she doing good, man. Her and her boyfriend, they doing good. They 20, so, and she's on route to be a millionaire because she said she wanted to be a millionaire, and she's definitely on course to do that. With my tutelage still, my mentorship, I'm, guiding her. All right, but my current situation, I don't want to really talk about the state of mind that my lady is in right now. But like I said, it's a lot going on now in this day, in this era. This is their era right now, And she's older than my daughter. She's 30, 33. 25th Street. But her group is the group that has influenced everything for what's going on with them. And my father told me about the group a long, long time ago. He was like, Lawrence, I'm with my group, and he's a senior, he's an opinion leader. He's a vet, so he was telling I'm moving around my group. He always said the group. I couldn't understand what he was talking about, but now I see what he's talking about. Because my group, okay, we Generation X, all right, and my group is doing pretty damn good, okay, especially the black men that have came out of my group. We have dominated, the 90s, the millennials so far. I can name like 20 business owners, along with myself, that's in my group. Rick Ross, 50, Plies, Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy owned like 50% of Atlanta. So it's like I'm following suit with them. My cousin Shake Bag on the west side got the Three Kings restaurant. They own a lot of property and stuff, and but my group is doing pretty good. So he has made me understand what that was about. Now, they group, like I said, they probably the Y and the Z. It's a different time for them. It's social media that's really influencing everything they do. And that's really the problem for their group, because social media dictates everything that's going to happen for them. They follow suit. It's like monkey see, monkey do. And it's so accessible and it disseminates fast. Okay, so they can get the wrong perception quick, real fast from social media, and they'll follow suit with that. And that's what's happening right now with their group. Now, my daughter group is probably like what, the Z group, since they like the Y, the Z, Y, yeah, they probably like the Y group. They right behind them. So like I said, social media has dictated, but I call her early, right before all this, evolutionized. I called her before the social media took off like that. It had a grip on her, so she wouldn't get really lost in that shuffle. Gave us some real values, family values. How I was brought up, and it structured her. For the time we in now. So one thing that happened this past off day, like my lady, she going through her little postpartum or whatever, and her mother, she's a baby boomer. They the 50 crowd, 50, 60. That's their crowd, my father crowd. They the baby boomers. Now with their group, it's totally different. They don't have what we have now. Social media, they not really in tune with that. They come from a different cloth, stern, tough love and all that stuff. I never was like that with my dude. I'm always there for it, you know what I'm saying? But they group, they look at it different, like they want you to learn a lesson. They want you to go do something hard, hardship. Then they point to say it's your fault, because you weren't paying attention, etc., etc. That's their group. Now, the group that was before them, that was my grandfathers. You know, they was real supportive of their kids. And like I said, I'm doing a case study, man, because my granddaddy, he just passed, you know, like probably about 2 months ago. He lived to be like 90, what, 95? He owned this house. My grandmother and him, they paid their house off 30 years before they retired. He was retired like 40 years. They had a landscaping business. My uncles, they was right with that group. They baby boomers. But I seen how he took care of the whole family. You know, he had shelter for them. They had buildings. We had a building on 64th and Eberhard. He got out of that before the millennial got here. He cashed out everything, all the property in Chicago. He sold it because my auntie was staying on one side, of, like on Inglewood, and we was over in Washington Park. My uncle managed the building. My other uncle, he went to prison, so my auntie was managing the building. But we owned the property, and they had real estate like in Michigan, had like 40 acres in Michigan. But I gotta ask my cousin, you know, if they still got it. You know, because now that he's gone, they still have the property. They still got one property left in Chicago that I know that's his house. It's a beautiful house, man. You know, kept it up, and he probably would still be here if he wouldn't have had that injury, cut his finger. You know, still doing maintenance, you know, around his house, you know, lawn and garden and stuff. But like I said, you know, he was a strong man. He was a strong black man, like I said. You know, it was a different generation. I listened to what they were saying on, I think it was Good Morning America or The View yesterday. They was talking about, yeah, they rolling us back into the 50s and 60s. And there was a brother on there talking. And I'm like, well, as far as like homeowners, black homeowners, and that's probably true, you know, because there's a lot more people in real estate now, you know, due to these times and stuff, because, you know, it's real easy to get into stuff now, you know. Um, so he was saying there's a lot of, you know, black homeowners, and it's rolling back into the 50s and 60s and stuff, you know, how it was back then for my granddaddy and them, for our grandparents and stuff, you know. But we still dealing with inflation, so, and you're dealing with tenants. And I heard Richard Fang, you know, he's the mentor that's in Florida. He in the gated community, came up with Deion Sanders, and I didn't even know he played for the Chicago Bears until he did a little short vlog about how when he was here for that 1 year, you know, they was admiring Michael Jordan, you know, and what he was going through, and I witnessed all that. You know how this city didn't want to pay him. Michael Jordan was an excellent pillar in the community, man. Like no matter how much they slandered MJ, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, man, this scene that we got right now in Chicago wouldn't be what it is. I'm just keeping it 100. Walter Payton was cool, but Michael Jordan dictated and changed. Like I said, strong black man, changed everything in the household for the situation. If it weren't for Michael Jordan, come on now. Let's be brutally honest. What would Chicago really look like? What would it really look like? We'd still like be dealing with the machine, right? Mayor Daley's father, you know, we know what he did in the machine, right? That was like the Gestapo thing, you know what I'm saying? For blacks and stuff like that. But without Michael Jordan, he changed that. He changed the whole narrative, and he sat there and told him in the press conference when he retired the first time. He was like, look, I changed this situation, man. It's like I changed y'all from a mob city to a classy city. That was Michael Jordan that did that. If it weren't for MJ, we'd still be dealing with crime, destruction. With Larry Hoover and them, it would be more prevalent now. MJ changed that. He did that. Michael Jordan did that. No matter how much people say, oh, Michael, he didn't do nothing, you know, and you're a damn lie. MJ did a lot. He was outside hooping with us and everything. But I played, you know, he was on the street. He was an advocate. He was active in the community. Okay, he wasn't just talking about it; he was doing it. He was proactive in the community. He was everywhere. All right, and he wasn't scared to get out there with his people, man. Right? His wife came from the Dearborns down there. I know all about Juanita. So he was in the hood. MJ was in the hood, pulling up, playing with niggas. What you talking about? Right? So he started getting a little successful. Of course, niggas gonna start saying shit, right? That's what happened. That's why he really left, because they started slandering his name, saying he was a sodomite and stuff, cheating on his wife. You know, that's Chicago. I know how Chicago get down. I'm in the street too. I heard all of it. They done slander every black man that has been prominent besides Barack Obama. And I knew about Barack too. He was incarcerated too. Come on, man. But anyway, you know, I was kind of offended, like this all day when, we know my lady going through something. I've been looking at my documentary of this for like the last 8 years. And like I said, I'm doing a case today. I don't want to just throw her under the bus, but, she kind of offended me talking about, because of her daughter's situation. Like, you need to be such and such and such and such. And, trying to tell me down. And I'm like, look, it's because of how she's acting. Like I said, the black woman is what they're allowed to accept, and they can't change the situation. But it's how she acting is not acceptable, man. Period. And I took in and I changed everything. Like I said, I'm a strong black man. I did that. I already raised a daughter. She's 25. They can't. What can they say that I haven't done? I was there every step of the way, man. Every step of the way, right? And I documented that from 5 all the way up until now. When I was able to get something to show, I did that, and I lived. I don't want to talk about what happened with that situation, but people seeing what I did. Like I said, I was present. I wasn't absent, like I'm right now, present. But she offended me, and I was like, she a baby boom. I was like, what? Like, she was talking like, you 47-year-old grown man. Yeah, talk about that. I'm a 47-year-old grown. Got my own crib. Been holding it down for 20 years. I got my own company. If I can't even get a PPO loan from this situation or whatever, right? I got 11 records online. I'm listed as a musical artist or a recording artist. I got 8 YouTube channels. I got a brokerage account, right? I did almost 20 years at the Art Institute. I got a blueprint. Me and my cousin had a blueprint. We was like 16. Like, we weren't even planning on working past 45. But it's this situation. It's this situation right here. They hindered me for 5 years. They shut down the Art Institute for 2 years, right? It took them 2 years just to open back up to operations. They still ain't back normal. That messed up my situation. Then, when I thought I was going to have a hurdle, a leap of faith, they stole my car in 23. My neighborhood. Never happened to me, right? I'm just telling y'all what's going on. Like, right after my daughter came out, my newborn, they stole my car. And it just kept going down here. And I couldn't understand why. And I'm in the hood, in the community, active, proactive, It done helped many blacks. And for them to do that to me, I was like, I couldn't believe it, like, And it just held me back because they trying to keep me in that environment. But I know I'm a strong black man. You don't see many like me. I got my own name on my hand. Look at that. You don't see the one? I got my own clothing line. They don't want to support me at all. I think I'm going through the same thing Michael Jordan went through when they felt like, oh, this is enough for you. What I'm getting paid, that's it. He's making $2 million. Richard Fine was like, he witnessed that because he played for the Chicago Bears. Michael Jordan was so humble. Right? He was so humble because he knew what was going to pay off later. Okay, he didn't care about the money. He cared about winning the game. Now look at him. $3 billion. Richest black athlete ever. LeBron, he next in line, but I just don't want him to. Why he still playing though? That don't make no sense to me. At this juncture, because he got so much going on in Akron right now. He community center, a school. LeBron is really active. He like MJ because he, of course, that was our role model. That's what we looked up to, man. Okay, seeing Mike come to the press conference in three-piece suits, him and Scottie Pippen. What? Now I was glued to the TV. I had never seen nothing like that. Like MJ was it, man. Like for real, like. And I never forget when he stopped talking to the media here for like almost like 6 months. And he was like, "Look, man, I didn't give y'all 90% of my time, man. It's like y'all still talking reckless to me. Like I'm done." They was finding him every game. You remember they don't show that part. I got all that on tape. All that on tape when MJ was, he was kind of salty for this scene right here. Like I said, I don't want to just slander Chicago, but it's something wrong here, man. I already talked about what's going on in the community, man, and what's going on, Because I heard a lot of females on this bus today, and I'm like, no, man, I got to get a disclaimer out here, man, because, the narrative ain't right, and it ain't all the black man's fault. A lot of black men left the scene, right? Strong black men, because we don't want to tolerate the BS here. Like, even when I got incarcerated 3 times, they stopped me. I got a lawyer for every 3 times they tried to, blackball me. I made sure that wasn't going to happen to me. I stood up for the community, right? I showed them. When they try to charge you with something, make sure you stand up for yourself. That's what I did, right? I'll never forget when the sister stopped me and she was like, that was my youngest, my oldest in the car. They used to always stop me. That's how they do it over there, And she was like, "You ain't never been arrested." And I looked at her like, I wanted to say like, "What? I'm supposed to have a record?" And at that time I was in school and I was up there with Herb Kent, the cool gent. He seen me. He admired what I did. And he didn't know I was a musician and stuff. And came down to my first post on Minnie Riperton on 43rd. When the brothers, they was giving me a lot of problems and stuff down there, talking about they want to kill me and put flowers on my grave and stuff because I was doing my job. I was doing my job, man. That was my first assignment. I locked the building down, and they didn't like that. They couldn't just do what they wanted to do. So they came to me. Disrespectful, because they couldn't do nothing no more. I stopped all their traffic. And I called the feds on them because they kept threatening me. Because the CPD, I couldn't rely on them. And I taught them a lesson. Man. And as a result, they still doing it. They down here now. Right? And they may get hit with a RICO. Where I'm at, I'm just being 100. They may get hit with a RICO because they hiring the same crowd. This new company, I was with Securitas, right? They may get, I've been talking about it, the OGs, and I'm like, man, they may get hit with a RICO, man, because, right? But anyway, man, I had to address that, man, because, I know we don't do these type of laws, man, but sometimes, man, you got to put something out here, a real message, man. That's to let people know what's happening and what your standpoint is and how you see things, man, because, I wouldn't still be in Chicago right now if I wasn't in this current situation. My cousin left 20 years ago, and I got him hired before we was allied. He a supervisor now, and he ready to migrate to Florida, I'm like right behind him, but I'm just trying to get through this situation right here. I mean, however it's going to turn out, after my son come out, I'm still focused. I got my blueprint. Once I get 10,000 in my brokerage account, that's all it's gonna take, man, to finance my company. And I'm just gonna slow my time down here, right? All I need is 10,000. 10,000, wow. And that's gonna finance my company. Then I'm gonna hook up with the brothers. I'm gonna go holler at Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart. I'm gonna holler at Jennifer Lopez. I'm gonna holler at Ben Affleck. I'm gonna send my screenplays to them. I'm gonna reach out, see if somebody holler at me. If not, I'm gonna find a way. Like Hugh Hefner found his way. He had started a foundation when he was right here at the Art Institute. I did my homework, man. He started over 8,000. We know how that turned out. Started Playboy, you know. He didn't want to do no schooling. He was ready. I've been ready. You know, there's this saying right here, man. You know, there's no resources, no funding. Like, you know, I had my business. I got my business license in 2015. My mentor is a millionaire. Her name Christine List at Chicago State. She told me how to run my business. She said, Martin, if you don't get no money or earn no money, make sure you buy equipment. Buy equipment so you won't end up being a hobby. And I listened to her, man. She telling me everything. She got me, man. She working with Eddie Murphy and them still, you know. Like she telling me what the real is, you know. And it's like I'm just trying to get my nest egg. Once I get that, it's over with. Just like this ride. I'm out y'all later.